An excellent way to make your footage look more cinematic is by using a Cinebloom or a black pro mist filter. The bad thing is, these are quite expensive and they are an extra tool you need to use on set, but there is a free and easy way you can mimic their effect in post. So let's jump straight into Adobe Premiere Pro. I have a few clips here on the timeline and we're going to apply the effect to all of the clips at once. First we need to create a new adjustment layer, so with the project panel open, let's click on the new item icon, choose adjustment layer and hit OK. The way an adjustment layer works is everything that is below the adjustment layer on your timeline will get affected by the effects you put on your adjustment layer. Next we'll drag the adjustment layer on top of our clips on the timeline and make it long enough to overlap all of our footage. Now let's add a couple of effects to our adjustment layer. If you don't see your effects panel, you can go up to Window and choose Effects. In here, let's search for the Luma key effect and drag that onto our adjustment layer. Then we'll search for a solid composite effect and drag that onto the adjustment layer as well. Be aware that both of these effects are quite heavy on your computer, so you can expect it to start working slowly, depending on your computer of course. Now let's go to our effect controls panel, and the first thing you want to do is change your solid composite color to black and your Luma key cutoff value to 100%. The Luma key effect will mask out parts of your video based on the luminance or the brightness values of your footage. The cutoff value will tell Premiere how much we want to mask out, so putting it at 100% will turn everything black, so we have to bring back our cutoff value until we see a bit of the bright parts pushing through. You can tweak the value by clicking and dragging on the cutoff value, and if you hold down Command on a Mac or Control on Windows, you can tweak the settings in smaller increments. I often find a value of around 90% to work pretty well. Now that we can start to see some bright parts of our footage, the next thing we need to do is soften out these highlights. Let's add a Gaussian blur effect and change the blurriness to, for example, 50. Now the last thing we need to do is change our blending mode to screen, and our blooming effect is done. The screen blending mode will hide all the dark parts of the layer, leaving only the bloomed out highlights visible on top of our original footage. You can now tweak some settings to make the effect look exactly how you want it to look. The opacity of the whole adjustment layer will reduce the overall strength of the effect. The Luma key cutoff and threshold values will change the brightness that will push through the mask and start blooming. Tweaking the blurriness of your Gaussian blur will change the size and softness of your bloom effect. You can always just play around with the values and see what works best for your footage. As a bonus tip, if this is an effect you'd want to use often, you can always create an effects preset out of this. Go to your effects panel, command click on a Mac or control click on a Windows on the names of all of the effects to select them all, then right click and choose Save Preset. Rename your effect, and now you'll have a preset for the bloom effect in your effect panel's preset folder, so you don't have to do all of the work again. So that is how you create a blooming effect in Adobe Premiere Pro. It's very easy, it will make your footage look a lot more cinematic, and you don't have to spend money on the expensive filters. But that is all I have for today. Thank you for watching, and I hope I will see you in the next one.